Welcome back to AP Chemistry, or Annoyingly Painful Chemistry. So today we're going to be talking about the Flint water crisis. It's an unfortunate thing that has been happening up in Flint, Michigan, and I'm going to tell you why it's happening, the history behind it, and why we can fix it. Alright, so first, before we begin, I wanted to give you a little history about Flint. So previously, it used to be this big industrial place where it would make cars, and it was a big place for industry. And so lots of water pipes were built, and these things were made out of lead. And so water was going everywhere because there was like 200,000 residents there. Now there's not as many, there's below half of that. So now there's not as much water flowing everywhere, so it's just been sitting in the pipes. Recently, they changed their water supply because previously what was happening is they've been getting it from the Detroit River and the Detroit sewage system. And so that has been doing fine. It's been treated with the proper chemicals so that nothing bad was happening and they were getting clean water. But recently their deal with Detroit water and sewage ran out because, you know, that kind of stuff is legal and all that jargon and whatever. And so since they didn't want to do all the legal stuff to get a short-term agreement, they just switched over to the Flint River. And so now it's not working because it hasn't been treated with the proper chemicals that it was previously. All right, and that's it for the history.
Oh, that was a tough landing. All right, now I'm going to talk about the chemicals of this unfortunate tragedy. You see, from the Detroit water and sewage plant and the Detroit River, they treated their water with orthophosphate, also known as just regular phosphate. And what this phosphate does is it encourages the production of lead phosphate, which in nature are insoluble and create a passive layer in the piping. Flying gloves. They're everywhere. Now, sorry, flying gloves. Anyway, they create a passive layer in the piping which causes it to not corrode. But whenever Flint, Michigan switched over to the Flint River for their water source, they did not treat the water with orthophosphate, regular phosphate. They did not treat it with phosphate. And that caused the piping to corrode over a while. And as my partner stated, the water has just been sitting there for up to 6 days sometimes. And that has caused the lead pipes to push a ton of heavy metal chemicals into the water, creating a poisonous hazard. And they made chlorine disinfectant. Now when this chlorine disinfectant reacted with the organic matter in the pipes, it created trihalomethane, and that is bad for you. Like, no good, no bueno. And they started treating this trihalomethane with ferric chloride, and this got rid of it. The only problem is it created high chloride levels in the water, and that is bad because studies have shown that heightens lead corrosion. That's it for the chemical side.
Whoa! I'm back to tell you that there's hope for this horrible situation. Now, in order to reverse these effects of the horrible Flint crisis, there's a couple things that we need to do. Number one, we need to treat the water with orthophosphate, or as Robby keeps liking to correct himself, just phosphate. And then what we should do is switch back to the Detroit water. Then we can switch back to the Detroit water because, you know, after the incident that we had, I'm pretty sure that Detroit's not going to be like, no, you can't use our water anymore. That's not okay. Just not okay. And then we'll have ourselves a fixed situation. Now, unfortunately, this might take up to a year or so, and so what we should do is we should partner with programs that help support this crisis. Like, I don't have any off the top of my head, but I know there are always charities that are willing to help people in need and sending clean water over to the Flint residents. And then we can have ourselves a great happy little community, even though there's no running water. But that's okay, because charity. And that's all for today. This is Andrew with Annoyingly Painful Chemistry, bringing you your latest chemistry news. Next time we're working on acids and bases, so we might, play some baseball or something. Get it? Because bases, we're working with bases. I think I'm gonna disappear now.